All right, good evening. We're calling to order the Concord Township Board of Trustees meeting for May 18th, 2022. Will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Mrs. Dawson, roll call, please.
Mr. Dondorfer.
Present.
Mr. McIntosh.
Present.
Mrs. Lucci.
Present. And moving on to the approval of minutes.
Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve the May 4th, 2022 special meeting minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion to approve the regular trustee meeting minutes from May 4th, 2022.
And I will second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Time for our elected official reports. Our fiscal officer, Mrs. Amy Dawson.
Thank you, Mrs. Lucci. I have no report this evening.
Thank you. Trustees, Mr. Dondorfer.
Thank you, Mrs. Lucci. It was nice last week. We did our dedication at the new pickleball court at Town Hall here in dedication to the Ray Poyer family. We appreciate their contribution and their initiative on getting that pickleball court project started and completed. It's going to be great for the township. And then after that, we had our talk of the township for our summer edition. There's a lot of good new stuff if you watch it on YouTube as far as what's going on in the various departments of the township. I did have a few calls since the last meeting. I spoke with a resident on Lily Lane who had an issue with a new development construction. There was some work that was unfinished by the developer out there as far as burying some telecommunications cable and some final grading that needed to be done so a couple residents could initiate their landscape design. So we worked with the developer and that's supposed to be completed this week. Had a call from a resident on Eagles Club in Quail Hollow in reference to some speed limit signs that were never erected in that development, which is part of the HOA. So I know that Tim Brown reached out to the developer there and they're in the process of getting those erected. And then finally, we had a call about some zoning concerns in reference to a rental property that I'm working with Heather on as far as getting some assistance to that resident.
All right, great.
And that's it.
Thank you. Mr. McIntosh.
Thank you. Yes, the pickleball dedication was really nice. We had great weather for that, and it was nice to see the Poyer family show up, and it was really nice. We talk about celebrating our bicentennial and what that means in terms of community, and it's the kind of thing that makes our community special when we have those connections within, and when you have a resident come forward and give a contribution to the township to help recreation in the community and others can benefit from that, it's really great. So that was very moving. It was a lot of fun to see that. I had some follow-up, a couple of zoning questions as far as use goes, and there's some ongoing issues that the zoning department is taking care of. I know there's some emails that came in about water problems, and it's spring and heavy rains, and so we're getting those questions. I did have some follow-up communication regarding the Ivy Ridge decision from last time. Did have a conversation with the developer. There were some questions about about that decision, so had some lengthy discussion there. And I know we're gonna do some votes a little bit later on the fire department, but I know we had a conversation and I think it's important to qualify or discuss a little bit, with the community how that decision came about. And it's just that we faced a bunch of firefighters that were really great candidates in an attempt to fill one, but we sat down and took a look at the economics of this and realized that understanding trends in the service in some direction. Now, Carl, you have experience with this, and the chief as well, that we need to be thinking more about full-time employment of our fire department long-term, just based on the employment dynamics, and that we were able to look at this and do it without burdening the township. So I know it looks like we're hiring full-time firefighters, but there's an offset cost, and it's ultimately, I don't know that it's fair to say a savings, but it's a financially responsible decision. We're not being careless with here, and it's not causing our budgets to go out of whack by any stretch. There's a give and take here, and the bottom line is what we're doing is creating a quality fire department for this community, which deserves it and needs it, and we're doing it responsibly. So that's one of those decisions I feel really good about. So that concludes my report.
All right, thank you.
So I share both of your thanks to the Poyer family for the pickleball. It was a great night. It was great to see the family, everyone's support, and we really enjoyed having that with the talk of the township right after with the great weather. And I also share your our commitment to safety as far as firefighters. It's also Police Week, so happy Police Week. And so, very important to have that respect and gratitude towards not only our firemen, but our sheriffs, our police everywhere, so thank you very much. A couple other things, I've talked to some residents regarding some zoning issues. Our zoning department is taking care of those or looking into those. We did have some calls about the Ivy Ridge development from the meeting last week that I took. Getting ready for the Derby Dash on Sunday. I will be running or walking that one. Now we have our Memorial Day ceremony also on May 30th that we're looking forward to. The actual ribbon cutting for Mary's Diner is on Monday. So hopefully everybody can check out Mary's Diner. Other than that, that's the end of my report. So our department reports, Mr. Andy Rose, our administrator.
Thank you, Mrs. Lucci, members of the board, Mrs. Dawson, members of the audience, good evening. I'll start with a few items that are on the agenda. I'm going to bundle items F through I. These are various votes that are required by you, the board, to update our cemetery regulations, policies, and fees associated with all of the services that are offered. Karen Warner, our cemetery sexton, and the other assistant cemetery sextons worked very hard to put this together, so I encourage a favorable vote on those items. Other thing I'd like to cover, I encourage everyone to join us for our annual Memorial Day service, which will be held on Monday, May 30th at 9 a.m. It takes place at the Concord Cemetery on State Route 608. This service, it's a time to honor and pay tribute to the veterans that are buried in our cemeteries and remember the loved ones that have gone before us. So I look forward to seeing everybody there. And usually we have a pretty strong turnout for this service. So this is a short report, but speaking of the Memorial Day service, it kind of ties into this meeting's featured bicentennial pictures. So if you could flip over, Rick. This is a photo of the grave marker for Isaac Messenger. And he and his 7 brothers all fought in the Revolutionary War. Isaac actually served under General George Washington at West Point. He relocated to the Concord Township prior to Concord Town. He actually relocated to this area in 1817. So he was here for the formation of the township in 1822. He passed in 1839 at the age of 93, and he is buried down in the Concord Cemetery. I believe he's in section 2. And his wife, Anna, she passed in 1850 at the age of 101, and she is the oldest person buried in our cemetery. And to live to be 93 and 101 respectively in the early to mid 1800s is quite the feat. So that is the bicentennial look back picture for this meeting, and that concludes my report. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. It's so cool to see this history right
It is.
right over yonder. So it's awesome.
Right over yonder.
And
Wow.
Over yonder.
Actually, that's 1932 section 2.
Wow.
So,
Okay. All right. So moving on to the audience portion. Is there anyone that would like to say a few words? All right. Moving on to old business. Seeing that there is none, we will move to new business.
Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve conditional offer of full-time employment effective July 3rd, 2022 to Brian Valletto pending completion of new hire paperwork.
And I will second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I'll say a few things. I think, in our continued commitment to our safety services, we all are in agreement how important they are to a community. We interviewed 5 full-time candidates that passed the exam for one full-time position that came through attrition. When we did the initial interviews, we recognized the fact that we had some very high-quality part-time candidates serving in Concord Township, and faced with the national epidemic that we see across the board for not only fire but police, as far as the lack of new candidates coming into the field, and the fact that part-time employees aren't going to be the remedy to fill schedules down the road because those candidates are looking for full-time. We recognize that at some point in time, this board is going to be faced with the decision of creating new career opportunities for our safety services. And I think, it was, a great move to, fund an additional 4 deputies without any additional burden to the taxpayers. And we shored up some quality candidates, 3 initially, that are gonna be very good for the township. They bring a lot of experience. They're very well-rounded. They bring education and training. And then, we hired, or we interviewed the last 2 candidates today to even out the shifts with a 4th hire for A, B, and C, and the 1 through attrition. So, I think it's great. It's going to shore up our safety services, and it's going to bring the quality of services to Concord Township that they deserve from their fire service. And it's great we were able to do it because these guys were quality guys, and if we didn't hire them, they'd be going somewhere else.
Yeah, I'd like to give credit to Chief Sabo for bringing this issue to our attention. I know last year when we did the command promotions interviews, we had this conversation, talk about the need to eventually grow into a full-time department at some point in the future. And I know in our process, we all independently came to our own conclusions, like, can we find a way to hire all of these? And it turns out that the staff here had already done some number crunching, maybe even anticipating we might make that choice. So I think we've spent a lot of time the last couple of years working with the fire department, in 2020, talking about the station project, and then the promotion interviews last year, and then these interviews this year. And I count our blessings to have the quality people that are, every one of them talked about how much they wanted to work here and why, and had specific examples of why Concord was a better department than where they're sharing their half-time with, or where they're presently, part-timing with us, but where they're full-time employed. And when you hear their specific examples about why our department's better, it just makes me feel better about this decision to bring on these people and have a really quality department. So this is a no-brainer.
I agree, and Brian was a great guy. He interviewed very well. He's got a lot to offer the township. He's got a lot of expertise. He came highly recommended. And I think having him here will certainly benefit the residents of Concord Township. All in favor?
Aye. Madam Chair, I move to approve conditional offer, full-time employment effective July 3rd, 2020 to Anthony Marut, pending completion of new hire paperwork.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Another fantastic candidate.
Another
Yes.
great candidate.
We interviewed all 3 of these and just
Yes.
went, how do you pick?
Yep.
Yeah, they all had something so unique. It was really hard to pick. All right, are you set?
Yep,
All
we're
in
good.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve a conditional offer of full-time employment effective July 3rd, 2022 to Hyle Squire, pending completion of new hire paperwork.
Second.
Any discussion?
Another excellent candidate. I'm just glad we have all of them on board.
I was very impressed. All in favor?
Aye. Madam Chairman, I move to approve voluntary reassignment of firefighter 1 Sterling Black to the position of regular status firefighter paramedic effective May 8th, 2022.
I'll second.
Any discussion? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve a super blanket in the amount of $7,500 for Harrisburg Fire Expo.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I move to approve and update the rules and cemetery department to update rules and regulations effective June 1st, 2022.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve the Cemetery Department updated deed form effective June 1st, 2022.
Second.
Discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye. Madam Chair, I move to approve new cemetery terms of sale agreement form effective June 1st, 2022.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve the Cemetery Department updated pricing effective June 1st, 2022 as follows.
I'm happy to read those for the board.
Please, Mr.
Thank you,
Rose.
Mr. Rose.
The proposed pricing before the trustees, if that would go into effect June 1st. Grave space for a full burial, 4x10, is $900. Cremation grave space, 2x4 flush marker is $300. 4x4 slant marker is $600. Columbarium niche is $650. Columbarium niche plaques with one emblem is $450. For each additional emblem is $100. For the grave openings, full burial for an adult is $600. Full burial for an infant is $200. Cremation is $200. A columbarium opening is $150. If it's late in the day, Monday through Friday after 1:30 p.m., the burial charge $350. Saturday burial charge prior to 12:30 p.m. No Sunday or holiday burials. Those are $550. The foundation fees for headstones, the standard 24-inch by 12-inch is $250. For the double lot 24-inch by 24-inch is $350. And then each additional square foot is $50. Those are the updated proposed pricings for the board, and I encourage approval.
Any discussion on these pricing changes?
No.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving on to item J. This is to vote on a public hearing date for tax budget 2023.
Madam Chair, I recommend 7/25 on June 1st. So that is our annual tax budget. We are required
Right.
by the ORC to have a public hearing prior to passing it.
I will make a motion to set the hearing for
June 1st.
June 1st at 7:25 p.m.
And I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, future meetings and announcements. Mrs. Dawson, do you mind?
Thank you, Mrs. Lucci. At 9 a.m. on May 27th, we'll have a staff meeting. That's Friday, May 27th, here at Town Hall. On May 30th, we're closed in observance of Memorial Day. Also on the 30th, as Mr. Rose mentioned previously, at 9 a.m. will be our Memorial Day ceremony held at the Concord Township Cemetery. On June 1st, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m., June 1st, 7:25 p.m., there'll be a public hearing here at Town Hall for the 2023 tax budget. I got mixed up. 6:30 to 7:30, trustee officers in the conference room. And then immediately following the tax budget public hearing will be the trustee meeting here at Town Hall.
Okay,
Sorry about that.
that's okay. Thank you very much. This concludes our meeting for this evening. Thank you.
Good evening, Concord.